Hi everyone, this is Teacher Elly again. We are going to do lesson 3 in Unit 1. It's personal, and your task will be on page 9 and page 11 of your textbook. Now, we are going to do grammar today, so your grammar exercises will be on page 9. Okay, the first one will be present simple. The second one is on present continuous. The third one will be on stative verbs. And the last one on page 11 is a new relative clauses, the new term that you will learn today, relative clauses. But it is actually something which is very common. You have already done this time and time again. Okay, now let's take a look at the first one. So what is simple present tense? Okay, simple present tense is very easy. You have done this year and year again. Okay, you have been doing this all this while, and I consider this as our revision. Okay, this is going to be your revision. All right, and there are three forms of simple present tense. They are positive form. Okay, what is positive form? Positive form is the sentence which includes of the pronoun and the verb. Okay, the pronoun macam biasa, saya dah biasa ajar pelajar saya semua, kita gunakan rules kalau dia seorang tak ada kawan, kita bagi kawan dengan apa? Dengan S. Kalau ramai, kita jangan bagi dia kawan lagi dah sebab dia dah ada kawan. So, tak ada S kepada verb dia. Okay, what is verb? Verb kata kerja. Kata kerja apa? Action, words. So, kata kerja, perbuatan yang nampak. Okay, yang nampak. Okay, so let's take a look at the example. I like it. Okay, I adalah dalam kotak plural. She likes it. And she adalah singular, so like is added with the word, with the letter S. So this is, I'm sure you have known this. So we go to the next one. What is the second one? That is the negative form of simple present tense. So negative form pun sama, gunakan konsep yang sama. Okay, kalau tak ada kawan singular, kita bagi kawan dengan S, tapi bukan kepada kata kerjanya, bukan ditambah di sini, but it is added to the word does. Okay, does not, ataupun the abbreviation doesn't. Okay, untuk plural, jangan bagi kawan dengan S, so kita gunakan do not, or abbreviation don't. I do not start. You don't start. Okay, so this is the negative form of the present tense. Next one, simple present tense can also be found in the question form. So when you ask questions in a simple present tense, okay, you still use the same concept here. The pronoun, after the pronoun is does. Tapi kali ni you just change the position. Does berada di hadapan, baru jumpa dengan pronoun. So he does not. Jadi di sini kalau soalan does he, dan disambung dengan verb, dan verb ini sama konsepnya. Dalam soalan, semua verb, semua kata kerja jangan diubah. It must be the root verb, okay, ataupun the root word. So does he start? Okay, do I start? Do you start? Do we start? Tak ada do you starting, do you started, do you starts. Tak boleh. Okay, does dengan do. Bila ada does dengan do, bermakna ini semua adalah ayat present tense, cuma form saja berbeza. Positive form, tak ada not. Negative form, ditambahkan dengan not. Dan question form, berada di hadapan. Alright, now let's take a look at the next part. Okay, when do we use the simple present tense? Okay, I have taken this note from the textbook. You may refer to the textbook for further and detailed understanding. This one I have taken just some example to make it easier for you to understand. Okay, now when do we use the simple present tense? Number one, when it is for facts and permanent situation. Facts, fakta, permanent situation. Situasi yang kekal tidak berubah. I live in a big house with my extended family. Dari dulu, kini dan bila-bila pun, this is the fact. I live in this big house. With whom? With my extended family. Next, we also use the simple present tense for general truth and law of nature. General truth, kebenaran yang diterima pakai semua, okay, yang diketahui oleh semua, yang difahami oleh semua, yang memang selama ini betul. Dan laws of nature, something which is semula jadi, it happens and it will not change. Okay, for example, the sun sets in the evening, not in the morning, not at night, not at noon. Alright, next one, habits and routines. Habits, kebiasaan. Similarly, routine is also something which you regularly, almost daily, always do. Okay, so example, we always visit our grandmother during the summer, during the school holidays. So during the school holidays tu are the routines yang you buat. Okay, next one, timetables and programs in the future. So timetables and programs in the future ni are planned, something which is planned, perkara yang dirancang, okay, dan berlaku pada masa akan datang. And it is hoped that ia akan berlaku setakat yang mereka cakapkan ini. So, for example, my father's plane arrives at 5 o'clock. So, jadual dia memang sepatutnya sampai at 5 o'clock. Dia tak boleh sampai 4 o'clock, tak boleh sampai 6 o'clock. Biasanya arrives at 5 o'clock. So that is already in the timetables of the plane. And it is the program of the flight itself. Okay, next. We also use the simple present tense when we do reviews. Okay, when you watch movie, when you read something, you have to give reviews, you use present tense. Okay, stories, when you write stories, you also use present tense, unless when you write a recount. Okay, and sport commentaries. Okay, when you watch sport and you write ataupun you speak, you try to comment on that program, you use present tense. Okay, for example, this is the sentence on the reviews. The story, or the stories, and the story is about a young girl and her friend. Okay, so is here is present tense. Alright, so when do we use a simple present tense? For this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. Alright, this is very common, and please, this is a revision, so I really hope by this time you are now in Form 5. This is something you should not make mistake of. Okay, next one. Okay, we are going to the second part, which is the present continuous tense. Okay, present continuous tense sama macam present tense. Kalau tadi bendanya berlaku pap pada masa itu, pap tetap sahaja pada masa itu. Present continuous tense ni you just nampak perkataan continue. Okay, continue means bersambung. Bila bersambung bermaksud ada satu tempoh masa yang ia berlaku pada masa yang dicakapkan itu. Sama macam tadi, similarly to present tense, it also has 3 forms. Okay, and they are positive form. Okay, positive form sama macam tadi. Okay, sama macam tadi, ada dua kolom, singular and plural. Cuma kalau tadi sebelah ni kita letak verb, kali ni tidak. Bila sebut present continuous tense, bermakna sesuatu perkara itu sedang berlaku. When you are talking, when at the moment you are speaking about it. Okay, so you akan gunakan present tense in the form of am, is and are. Wajib ada. Bila present continuous tense, benda yang sedang berlaku memang kena guna am, is dengan are. So am, is dengan are ni digunakan mengikut kolom. Tadi I kita gunakan dengan tambah s, dia duduk dalam ni. Sekarang I dah pecah. Okay, I dah ada kolom dia sendiri. Since dia raja, sombong, so dia cuma kawan dengan am. I am. Now tadi start, kita tambah s atau tak ada s. Sekarang untuk present continuous tense, setiap am is dengan are mesti partner dengan verb yang ditambah ing. We call this term gerund. And G-E-R-U-N-D. Alright, so I am starting, he is starting, we are starting. Ingat itu je. Okay, kalau am is are, partner dia kata kerja, dikekalkan verb tu cuma tambah ing. Now let's take a look at the next form. Okay, negative form similarly sama juga, cuma tambah perkataan not. Okay, so I am not starting, he is not starting, we are not starting, and there is the abbreviation is not becoming isn't, are not becoming aren't. Am not tak ada, am not kekal, I am not starting with you. Okay, alright, so this is the negative form. Okay, negative ada not, positive tak ada. Ini basic dia. Okay, next one is the question form. Okay, question form sama saja macam yang tadi, kita gunakan balik am, is and are. Now, kalau dia berada di sini untuk positif, untuk soalan dia berada di hadapan. Ingat tadi do dengan does di depan, baru dia jumpa dengan pronoun, subject, baru dia jumpa dengan verb. Kalau yang di present tense tadi, kata kerja dia tak ada apa-apa, kosong, tak boleh tambah apa-apa. Untuk present continuous tense ada ing. Okay, you are crying, change into are you crying? You are sleeping, are you sleeping? She is swimming in the sea. Is she swimming in the sea? Macam tu je dia tukar-tukar. Okay, next. Alright, now let's take a look. When do we use the present continuous tense? Okay, we use present continuous tense in certain situations. The first one is when actions happening at the time of speaking. Okay, while you are speaking, the actions happen. While you are speaking, this thing happen. For example, Dad is making dinner in the kitchen. Your mom asks you, where is your dad? Dad is making dinner in the kitchen. So at the time that you are speaking to your mom, your dad is making dinner in the kitchen. Okay, next. We also use present continuous tense for temporary or changing situations. Remember just now in present tense, okay, temporary ni, the opposite word is permanent. Okay, changing situations that change from time to time. Okay, so bendanya berubah from masa ke semasa. Look at the first example. My cousin is staying with us for the holidays. Okay, so my cousin is staying with us for the holidays only. When the holidays ended, they will go back to their places. Okay, the second one, she is becoming more and more frustrated. Okay, she was once frustrated. Now the situation is changing. She is becoming more frustrated and more frustrated. So the situation is changing from one stage to another stage to another stage. So that is when we use present continuous tense. Next, we also use it for annoying habits. Okay, when we make sentence to refer to someone with annoying habits, okay, habits juga, tadi kan pun habits juga, cuma habits di sini specifically annoying, menyakitkan hati, atau something that triggers your anger, okay, and it is often used with the adverbs always. Okay, my coach is always criticizing me. My coach is always criticizing me. Okay, my brother is always disturbing me. My mother is always scolding me. Okay, so annoying habits. Benda tu berlaku selalu. That's why kita guna always. Okay, and dibaca dengan nada annoyed. Okay, alright. The next one, plans and arrangement. Macam tadi juga, timetable and schedules tu kan, future arrangement. Okay, still in future, you plan it, okay, but you are not sure and you cannot ensure whether it will happen or not, but you plan this thing to happen. So, for example, she isn't seeing her friends tomorrow. Dia tak ada plan lah nak jumpa kawan dia esok. Okay, Ali isn't coming to school this afternoon. Petang ni Ali tak nak datang. Okay, so itu dia punya plan, arrangement dia. Alright, now these are the reason why we use present continuous. Now we go to the third part of the exercise. Okay, we'll look at the note first. The note on stative verbs. Kita masih tentang verbs. Present tense tadi ada verb. Okay, present continuous tense pun ada verb with the ing, yang tambah ing. Sekarang stative verb. Stative ni is from the word state. State means keadaan. Okay, verb kata kerja. Apa kaitan dia? Kata kerja yang menunjukkan keadaan apa? Now let's take a look. Okay, so stative verbs describe states, menerangkan sesuatu keadaan, not actions, bukan kata kerja perbuatan. Okay, so apa contoh dia? Feelings. Okay, feelings. For example, hate and like. Okay, hate and like adalah verb. Tapi you boleh nampak tak perbuatan hate? You boleh nampak tak perbuatan like? Dia lebih abstract. Sebab dia adalah feeling. Tapi kalau kita kata verb walk, sing, stand, eat, run, those are the verb, the common verb yang kita nampak perbuatan. Ini yang tak nampak. Dia menunjukkan keadaan. Dia feelings. Kemudian state of mind, keadaan fikiran, your mental. Can you see what is happening in your mind? For example, the word believe. This is the verb, yes, but can you see the action of believe here? Cannot. Bila you sebut, saya percayakan dia. Percaya is verb, but you do not see how it is being done. Okay, and also possession. Okay, feeling, state of mind, possession, belong. Okay, saya kepunyaan mak bapak saya. Nampak tak perkataan kepunyaan itu ada keperbuatan yang menunjukkan kepunyaan? Tak ada. But it is also a verb. So this kind of verb which you tak boleh nak tunjukkan dia punya perbuatan, that is what we call stative verb. Okay, verb yang static, yang menunjukkan keadaan, yang tak ada perbuatan dia. Okay, so we do not use them in continuous form. So all this word hate, like, believe, belong tak boleh digunakan dengan continuous form tadi. Okay, present continuous form tu takkan boleh guna perkataan ini. Contohnya, my mother. Okay, my mother hates doing chores. Yes, you boleh tambah s dekat sini. Okay, hates doing chores. Tapi you tak boleh gunakan my mother is hating doing chores. Sebab hate ini tak boleh jadi dengan is dan tambah ing. Okay, tak boleh jadi present continuous. Dia boleh jadi fakta sahaja. Okay, dia boleh jadi present tense. Okay, at the same time it is called the stative verb. Okay, next one. Okay, stative verb. However, some verbs. Okay, some verbs. Okay, some stative verbs can be both stative and action verbs. Ada yang boleh berfungsi sebagai stative dan ada berfungsi sebagai action. But you will have a change in meaning. Bila you gunakan dia berbeza dalam bentuk stative dan action, dia akan berbeza maknanya sekali. For example, the word appear. Appear is the verb. Okay, appear is the verb. Now, appear is stative. My baby brother appears to be sleeping. Nampaknya seperti tidur. My baby brother appears to be sleeping. Yang maksudnya nilai seems, nampaknya seperti sedang tidur. Okay, appears di sini juga tak boleh dijadikan my baby brother is appearing to be sleeping. Tak boleh. Tetapi boleh digunakan dalam maksud lain. My classmates and I are appearing in a play. Memunculkan diri, membuat kemunculan. Okay, my classmate and I are appearing in a play. In another word, it means performing, membuat persembahan, membuat penampilan. So, nampak tak beza dia? Appear boleh jadi present tense, stative verb, tapi tak boleh digunakan maksud ini, seems ni menjadi is appearing. Okay. Bila nak guna appearing, dia membawa maksud yang lain. So, itu maksud stative verb. Stative verb boleh berubah. Okay. Tapi bila dia berubah dari sini ke sini, dia hanya boleh digunakan dengan makna yang lain. Maksud dia dah tak sama. Okay, dia tak macam tadi present tense, present continuous, makna dia sama. Kalau kata walk, walk, walking, maksud dia sama, jalan, jalan. Sit, sitting, duduk, duduk. Okay, di sini berubah. Okay, nanti nak faham, tengok semula, ulang balik video saya, then you akan faham stative verbs ni apa. Okay, next one. Okay, for the explanation on exercise 1, 2, and 3, okay, you will do your task on page 9. Okay, present tense tadi ada di sini. So, complete the sentences, use the present simple or the present continuous. In which sentence could you use both but with a change in meaning? Okay, dalam ini you kena check yang manakah ayatnya nanti yang you boleh gunakan dua-dua. Okay, saya tolonglah number yang A, number 2A. I see my friends at the gym. I see, present tense. I see my friends at the gym. Boleh tak? Yes, boleh. Tapi boleh tak kita guna present continuous? I am seeing my friends at the gym. Maksudnya, nak berjumpa. Okay? Ataupun sedang berjumpa. Akan berjumpa. Plan. You plan to see in the future. Okay? So, A, you boleh jawab dua. I see / I am seeing my friends at the gym. Okay? Now, look at B. My colleagues and I discuss the new project right now. Now, the keyword is right now. Okay, yang ini disebabkan keyword ini berlakunya sekarang, you nak guna apa kat sini? You nak guna present tense or you nak guna present continuous tense? Okay, yes, present continuous tense. My colleagues and I. Colleagues ni apa? Ada yang tak tahu. Colleagues ni rakan sekerja. My colleagues and I. Berapa orang? 2. Kalau 2 dah ada kawan, dah. Jadi discuss ni nak tambah S ke? Tak payah. Jangan kawankan. So my colleagues and I, okay, discuss or are discussing. Yes, sebab my colleagues and I, plural, ramai. Nak tambah S pun tak boleh sebab now kita gunakan ing kepada discussing. So, my colleagues and I, plural, are discussing the new project right now. So, now look at C. You can see in the bracket, usually ask. I usually ask. Okay. My coach for his advice. Okay, usually bermaksud apa? Biasanya, selalu. Okay, kerap. Jadi ini adalah habits. So kalau habits, okay, ada tak indikator di sini yang menunjukkan dia sedang berlaku? Ada tak masa seperti right now? Tak ada. So ini mestilah present tense. So I apa? I am usually asking. No. Bunyi pun pelik kan? So, I usually ask my coach for his advice. Okay, I adalah dalam konteks yang tidak boleh berkawan dengan as. I ask, I usually ask. Sebab kita nak gunakan apa yang dia boleh dalam bracket. Ya? I usually ask my coach for his advice. Okay, then I have explained the first part of the exercise. Now your task is you are going to copy number 3 and number 4. Number 3 is complete the sentences. Okay, use the present simple or the present continuous. It can be in the form of positive, negative, or question form. Okay. Then number 4, circle the correct words to complete the text. So di sini adalah the combination of positive, negative, or question of present continuous. Okay, dan juga present tense. Ini combination lah, dua ni combination. Okay, so when you copy back in your book, you write down number 3, complete the sentences, you copy down, underline. Okay, jangan tinggalkan yang dalam bracket supaya you tak confused. Number 4, circle the correct words. Tak payah circle lah, ni you underline saja. Okay, write down the title, teens and pocket money. Okay, you copy down everything. Some parents complain that their children, number 1 apa? Okay, number 1, tak perlu copy number 1 ni. Terus buat dua pilihan di sini and go straight, underline which is the answer. You copy juga dua-dua ini sebab you may make mistake. Okay, you may make mistake. So kalau you salah ini, maksudnya inilah yang betul. Alright, jawapan saya akan bagi sehari sebelum kelas yang seterusnya minggu depan. Okay, next. Alright, this is going to be your last exercise, relative clauses on page 11. Okay, what does it mean by relative clauses? Relative clauses is when you give more information about the subject or object of a sentence. Okay, and they are introduced by the following relative pronouns. Masih menggunakan pronouns. Okay, if you see these words later on, you will obviously say, oh, ini rupanya relative clause. Okay, so they are introduced by the following relative pronouns. They are who, whom, which, that, where, why, when, and whose. So these are the WH word we commonly know them as. Tapi for the British, they call it the relative pronouns. And what are they for? To give more information about the subject or object of a sentence. Okay, relative clauses examples. Okay, this is how we use who. Okay, biasanya kita akan guna who / that, either one. The little girl who I look after during the day is adopted. The little girl that I look after during the day is adopted. Next, the laundry which is in the basket is filthy. That's the place where my father met my mother. Okay, error. Next, that's the reason why Joe is grumbling. That was the time when I had an argument with my brother. This is the woman whose daughter does our housework. Okay, lupa nak underline. Okay, now defining relative clause. What is defining relative clause? Okay, defining relative clause, okay, masih relative clause tapi defining tu apa? It gives important information which we need. Kita perlukan maklumat ni in order to understand, supaya kita lebih faham. Okay, terdouble juga. In order to understand the main clause. Untuk faham ayatnya, kita kena gunakan relative pronouns ni supaya kita faham maksud ayat. Kalau tak ada tu kita tak faham. Contoh, the chore which or that I hate the most is the washing up. The chore is the washing up. Okay, kena ada wish that I hate the most. The chore I hate the most is the washing up. Okay, next, the men who I invited to the get-together are my uncles. Lagi satu kesalahan, uncles. The men who I invited to the get-together are my uncles. The men that I invited, boleh juga guna. Okay, next, non-defining. Non-defining, tadi defining, kita perlukan dia untuk menjadikan kita faham ayat tu. Non-defining relative clause bermakna dia ada ke dia tak ada pun tak ada masalah. Gives extra information which we do not need. Kita bagi je extra information tu, tapi sebenarnya we don't need them at all pun. Okay, we must use commas. Untuk guna ni kita kena guna commas to separate a non-defining clause from the main clause. Maksudnya ini biasanya dibuat oleh pelajar yang suka menulis panjang-panjang kan. Dia memanjang-manjangkan kan lah. That. Dia panjangkan. Dia kena guna comma. Dia tak guna comma tu salah. Okay. Alright. For example, Molly, who often gossips, doesn't get along with her friends. Perlu tak information ni? Tak perlu. Kalau tak letak pun, Molly doesn't get along with her friends. Okay. So these are non-defining relative clause. Kita guna dalam ayat, tapi sebenarnya tak perlu pun. Tapi kalau kita guna, kena letak comma. Alright. Next. Okay, so non-defining clause adalah di sini. Main clause adalah di sini. So, Molly, main clause dia apa? Doesn't get along with the friends. Tak perlu nak bagi tahu ini. Tapi kalau bagi tahu memang kita memanjang-manjangkan ayat lah. Salah? Tak salah. Tapi kena guna comma. Okay, now you are going to do this exercise, okay, on relative clause. Okay, on page 11. Okay, exercise 2, exercise 3, read these sentences and underline the relative clauses. Which sentence means that the speaker, okay, bullet 1, has more than one brother and that the one who has written a book lives in Scotland. So, yang mana? Okay. And then another one, which sentence means that the speaker only has one brother and that he has written a book and lives in Scotland. So, you have to try to understand the sentences, the meaning of the real sentence by looking at the comma. Nampak comma? Kalau ada comma, apa maksud dia? Dia dah lari maksudnya di situ. Dia boleh bermaksud lain. Okay. Saya akan tolong bahagian ini. Okay. My brother who has written a book on personal relationships, lives in Scotland. My brother who has written a book on personal relationship lives in Scotland. Okay. So, yang mana sentence A? Yang mana menerangkan tentang sentence A? Yang mana menerangkan tentang sentence B? Okay. Baca balik dekat atas. Which sentence means that the speaker has more than one brother? Okay. Dia nak merujuk kepada abang yang mana? Oh, abang yang ini. And that menunjukkan dia ada abang lebih daripada seorang lah. And that the one who has written a book lives in Scotland. Yang mana satu? Yes, this one is yang mana? Sentence B. So, my brother who has written a book. Tu abang dia yang tulis buku. Okay. Lives in Scotland. Itu yang pertama. So, yang kedua, which sentence means that the speaker only has one brother and that he has written a book and he lives in Scotland. Yang mana? Yang mana? Yang mana? Yes, yang kedua lah. My brother. only has one brother lah yang ni. Okay, the speaker only has one brother. My brother ni lah who has written a book, and he has written a book and lives in Scotland. My brother, bukan orang lain, my brother who has written a book on personal relationships live in Scotland. So ini yang dimaksudkan dengan who di sini. Bila kita gunakan comma, bermaksud kita menambah-nambah. Kalau tak ada comma, baca my brother lives in Scotland. Nampak? Faham dah? Ayat dia lengkap dah. My brother lives in Scotland. So ini non-defining. Tak perlu sebenarnya. Inilah nanti dipanggil elaboration yang tidak perlu dalam isi kamu. Okay? Tapi yang ini penting. Siapa? Sebab kita nak terangkan. Brother yang mana? My brother who has written a book on personal relationships lives in Scotland. Kita perlu terangkan. Okay? Kita perlu terangkan. Untuk menerangkan dia ada lebih daripada seorang abang. So abang yang tulis buku ni lah tinggal dekat Scotland. Okay, itu saja saya nak kamu faham bahawa ada non-defining, ada defining. Defining kita perlukan info tu supaya kita faham ayat. Non-defining tak perlu ada dalam info tu. Dia hanya memanjangkan ayat, dan kalau kita potong, ayat itu masih boleh difahami. Ini kalau kita potong, kita tak faham. Abang yang mana ni? Abang yang mana ni? Okay. So number 2 has been done by me. Your task will be page on task 3. Circle the correct words. Okay. So yang ini you just pilih lah. Kalau tadi circle, tukar juga underline. Okay. Underline. Now, do me a favor. Answer all the questions and you must write the answer in different color with the pen that you are using. Alright, copy everything. Now, complete task 2 and task 3.